Teach an old dog new tricks.com. More than 40 hours of free computer training. Sit, stay, and learn. Thank you. Hi ladies and gentlemen, this is Tony Holowitz and I want to thank you for being here for this tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to use Microsoft Word 2010 to discuss the difference between save versus save as. When you open up Microsoft Word or Excel or PowerPoint or any kind of software program that allows you to save your work, when you first open up your document and it's a blank document that has never been saved, well, the minute you put some information in there, whether it be one letter, a space, anything, you have the option to save that. Obviously, there's no point in saving a blank document if there's nothing there. But the minute you put anything in it, you have the option to save it. So the very first time you save something, it really doesn't matter if you do save or save as. Frankly, I usually recommend the first time you save something, just go up and click on the Save option up in the top left-hand corner and save it. So let me do that right now. I'm going to go up, click on Save, and I'm just going to call this Sample 1. That's it, Sample 1. So I'm going to click on Save, and what I want you to observe is now up on the toolbar, or up on the title bar, it now says Sample 1. So imagine for a moment that you've walked away from this document and you've come back to it and you've decided to add some information to it. And I'm just going to add my name. Nothing more complicated than that, just simply my name. This document is now changed. If I try to exit out of this document by clicking on the X in the top right hand corner, it's going to say, hey, wait a minute, you've changed something. Do you want to save it? But think of it in these terms. Imagine for a moment you're working on a long document and you decide that you want to save this document in increments. So maybe as you're saving it, you save it in bits and pieces. And what I mean by that is I'm not going to save this. I'm going to click on Cancel. But the minute I add something to this, I've changed the document. So what I always recommend to people, to make sure you don't have a power outage or something bad happens, always be saving your work. But the dilemma is, if you go up and click on Save and you've saved the wrong information, your old information is gone. So if you go up and instead of clicking on Save, click on Save As, you can give this document a slightly different name. You might call it Sample 1A. And I'm going to click Save. Then you add a little bit more to it, and you might go up and say, well, I'm going to do Save As, and I'm going to save it as document 1B. So what you're doing is, as you add things to this, you're saving it in increments by adding a new name, by doing Save As. Let's assume for a moment that after we save this as 1B, and let's again think in terms of, we just haven't added one word, but maybe we've added pages of information. And all of a sudden we realize that all the information we added is wrong. Well, what's going to be easier, trying to undo everything we've done or just simply going back and opening the previous version? So in other words, if maybe sample 1B is all wrong, instead of trying to figure it out, maybe we just go back and open up sample 1A to sort of be at that point where we started. So by saving Save As, you're saving little increments, and at some point if you realize you goofed, it might be easier to just go back and start from the previous document. And also it's a good strategy if you're working on a long document. Again, let's assume you're working on something that takes you 8 hours. Maybe every 15 minutes you do a Save As. Save it as Sample 1, 1A, 1B, 1C, and so forth. So save versus save as is very important. Another thing is, let's say by mistake you took all this information to this point and you deleted it. And let's say instead of just a little bit of information, it was 100 pages of information. If you click on File, if you click on Save, you've saved over that 100 pages with just one word. But if you do Save As, then you realize you goofed. You can always go back and open up the previous version. So that's some of the distinctions between save and save as. If you ever have any questions, you can give me a call and I'd be more than happy to discuss it with you. My name is Tony Holowitz. Thank you very much.